Hello there, welcome to Plus Talk on Plus Life. Today we are talking dating, love, HIV, and yes, apps. My guests, Andrew Oakes and Dorian Klemensine, know a thing or two about what happens when HIV enters the chat on these apps. Good to see you, Dorian, in person.
Hello.
And lovely to see you too, Andrew, from the UK. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No, a pleasure. Look, let's get real. I'll start with you, Andrew. What's it like dating on apps when HIV is part of the picture?
It can be really tricky because a lot of the time people see the status before they meet the person, and there is a lot of discrimination out there. For some, usually, in my case, I prefer to let the person know straight away that I'm HIV undetectable, so that if I'm not of their choice, then they can make that decision quite quickly so that we're not wasting each other's time.
Yeah, what about for you, Dorian? What's your experience been like?
Yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix. I also put my status right in like the bio or the about me, and I put it right up there. So I definitely feel like it's out there for them to decide whether they want to continue or not. And from my experience, I've seen people either don't even look at that, so it is a surprise to them later on, or they, like you said, they make their decisions early on. So it's interesting, and you really get to see who is in it for you, or they're like, oh no, I can't do this, and back out early.
Yeah, I think to Andrew's point though, it's like, okay, fine, you're not into it, or you're going to be a dick. At least I know, thank you, we're not going to waste each other's time. But at what point for you, Dorian, like when did you decide, I'm going to put it out there right away?
Not at first. At first, I was really like a little nervous and scared to put out there that I was positive. I kind of kept it a secret, not that I was secret at all in my life. I just didn't want to put it on like dating apps because I was afraid that I wouldn't get attention. And I was keeping it a secret and telling people once we got into that conversation of about to meet up, and it caused a lot of problems for myself. I had a lot of people being like, oh, well, I would have known, or if you would have told me. And I think it was more of the feeling of almost being lied to or not being given the full story rather than being upfront, because once I put it in my bio right away, they see it's there. If it's even a concern for them, they feel like they know from the get-go and they're making a full decision rather than me springing upon them like, oh, I'm 5 minutes down the road, hey, by the way, I'm HIV positive.
Yeah, it is tricky though, isn't it, Andrew? Because we do live, thankfully, the three of us are very lucky to live in the period of HIV and undetectable equals untransmittable. So in theory, technically, if we are undetectable, we are presenting zero risk for HIV transmission, and it should be my decision to disclose or not to disclose. I know for you, Andrew, that your diagnosis story went very viral. So it's, I guess, a little bit of a different perspective for you because it was kind of out there as soon as it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a case of having my recording at the time, my phone, and being told that I was HIV positive. I struggled with it quite tremendously at the very beginning. But for me, when it comes to dating on apps, I'm on the fence because I do think it is your personal medical history. And would you tell someone straight away on a date that you've got diabetes? Probably not. I completely understand where your guest is coming from in terms of having people that I've dated in the past. I've not told them straight away, and I've been accused of lying and keeping things from them, and it's become really tricky.
Yeah, and it's tricky, isn't it, Dorian? Because sometimes maybe it is just we're going to hook up, but in the process of that hookup, there is a bigger connection.
Yeah.
And when you guys are done, you're like, well, that was nice. Maybe we should do this again.
Yes.
And then you get to that point where 3 times later, and you're sitting there going, I haven't said it yet. Now, what are they going to think of me?
Yeah, I know for myself that like brings back to what I was saying, like that. Oh, when do you let someone know? So in my instance, after experiencing like holding off a little bit, me putting it out there for them and in a spot for them to see on their own time, they can decide whether or not to continue. I think, in my opinion, it's probably like the best in my situation.
We live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
PrEP is a big thing here amongst gay men.
Yes.
But do you think people understand what PrEP actually is and what it's for and why they're taking it? Because it seems like so many people think HIV isn't a thing anymore because of PrEP.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it's like you have like 50-50. You have certain people who are well educated who know that PrEP is to kind of help mitigate the chances of getting HIV. So they think they can just take that and they are okay. A lot of times they do pair that with like doxycycline as well.
Doxypep,
which,
yeah.
Doxypep, which also helps them cover their base a lot more. But then you have people who don't know anything. So they, like Andrew, will be like, oh, what do I do? How do I do this? Or they're very, I think the word's curious. They rarely ever do get someone who will flat out be like, no. But the majority of the time they're just like, okay, like what's the next step? What should I be looking out for and doing all these things? So I think it's, in LA at least, you have people being more willing to be like, okay, what's happening? Let me know. Give me some information.
How do you deal with the rejection?
So it does not feel good, even though you would, like I said, people in our own community would think that there'd be more of allies, more supportive. So I think that's why it hurts the most when I hear from our own community and I get that block, get that no. What I just do,
you take a break from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little cleanse. I know now that the apps also allow you to share things like STI status.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps kill stigma, or does it create a new reason for somebody to swipe left or hit block?
I think so. It's a great, I've had situations where people message me, see my status, and go, oh, just kidding, never mind, and back out. So we don't have to even.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Ha. Let me exit stage left. But it kind of depends. I like it because then, like I said, you don't have to muddle through the like, hey, hi, yes, no.
Right, it's another filter option. You go, okay, that's not for me. Much like somebody's physical attributions or likes may not be for you, and you see on the list, you go, that's not for me. Okay, swipe. Is it the same kind of thing for you, Andrew?
I agree. I personally feel it adds more stigma if it wasn't bad enough already having to disclose if you're HIV undetectable or not. We're now adding other sexually transmitted diseases on there. And I understand it from a medical point of view. It saves a lot of that awkward conversation. You've got it up there.
If someone is living with HIV and they open up a dating app this evening, what's the bit of advice you'd give them, Andrew, before they start swiping?
I would say be comfortable with yourself, and although it's hard, it's a lot easier to accept other people's prejudice for what it is when you have value yourself and you know who you are as a person.
Yeah, and what if we flip it, Dorian? What would you say to somebody who's HIV negative, but nervous to date or hook up with someone who is telling you that they're HIV positive and undetectable? What do you hope they hear?
I would think to them, take everything with grace. Give both yourself and the person you're talking to some grace. If you don't know anything about, be curious. Hey, I don't know about this. What is some information you can give me? Most times that person who is HIV positive will be thrilled that you are asking this because you want to know about them. You want to get to know something deeper. I think if you are worried, it's okay, it's scary, it's different, it's something new, but like I said, breathe, talk through it. It's all going to be okay.
I think that's good advice. Ask questions. That's the takeaway. HIV doesn't end the conversation. It just makes it more honest. Andrew, thank you for joining me. Dorian, thank you for being in the studio.
Yes.
And thank you guys for watching. That is going to do it for this episode of Plus Talk. Hey, what did you think? Leave a comment below so that my producers can read it and share it with me and tell me how fantastic it is. And remember, you can like, follow, and share. We're across all your favorite socials at Plus Life Media. The website is pluslifemedia.com. We've got a whole lot more information there. And if you want to see this conversation in its entirety, along with other Plus Talk episodes in their entirety, head over to our YouTube page at Plus Life Official. You can see it all there. Until next time, be nice to one another. Have some grace. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.